Welcome to the iSpace Wellbeing Expert Talk Series, bringing you advice, tips, and great conversation about mental health and well-being in young people. iSpace Wellbeing is a free of charge, multi-award-winning mental health and well-being solution for schools. Using a whole school, progressive and evidence-based approach, we make conversations about mental health and well-being flow naturally, both inside and outside of the classroom. Our fun, age-appropriate framework starts from 4 years old and covers all the key stages of a child's education. Schools choosing iSpace Wellbeing will not only give their teachers access to over 200 digital lessons, plans and other resources, but also free CPD-accredited training. Why not join the growing number of schools around the globe who are choosing iSpace Wellbeing for their students' mental health and well-being education? For more information, visit iSpaceWellbeing.com.
And what amazing work you are doing too. And it's going to be so exciting talking to you here this evening and hearing all about what shit actually means and breaks down to, and why it actually exists, and why it can make us feel so good when we understand what it is all about. And so I am thrilled to have you here this evening, Susie, on
Thank you
our
for having me.
Oh, you're so welcome. This is our iSpace Wellbeing Month of May series. And for those of you who are not aware, iSpace Wellbeing is the mental health and wellbeing solution for schools. It's a full package of resources to support and help young people with their mental health and to educate them and give them the tools that they need to live life well. So we've got lots of wonderful people coming to join us for the series. And tonight we have the wonderful Susie. From she's created this wonderful lifestyle blog, and it is about So Happy in Town, which breaks down to that word SHIT that you've already read on the screen.
Can I just say what a wonderful job this lady is doing for supporting young people and children and teens with their mental health in schools? Absolutely fantastic.
Thank you so much, Susie. And just for an introduction to you, because my goodness, your bio is amazing. You have your fabulous lifestyle blog, which is in support of YoungMinds. And I'm going to let you talk a little bit more about how it started and what it's all about. But
yeah, sure.
The whole campaign has raised over £25,000 for YoungMinds.
We're nearly at 30,000 now.
Nearly 30,000.
Finger crossing that we can get to £30,000 for YoungMinds, because the support on here, mainly on social media, Instagram, has been absolutely phenomenal. So we can
absolutely,
do it.
and you will do it. I absolutely, totally believe that you will do that very shortly, and then you'll be on to hit your 40K after that. But yes, so you started this lifestyle blog doing amazing work for YoungMinds, but you also you started off your career in the banking world, and then retrained then and became a teacher and worked in teaching.
Yeah.
And you have 3 children of your own, and you support and help them, and teach them every day that it is okay not to be okay, and you ensure that within your own children that there is no shame in expressing how you feel and talking about it, which is what you and I are all about, and that's why we are so well connected in what we are doing. And so Susie, without me telling everybody everything that you do, I think it's so lovely if we hear it straight from you. How did this all start? Where did it begin from? Over to you.
So I did start in the financial world, which was then I did a big U-turn and went into teaching, which is something I'd always wanted to do. And I was teaching primary school children, and then I started my own family, and you said I have three children. And through my work as a teacher, and then from personal experience, I was just seeing how many young people are being affected by mental health issues these days. And I myself, back in my early 20s, had really been hit by mental illness sort of out of nowhere when I was at university. And it was back then, obviously in the 90s. So it was the stigma was huge, and you just couldn't, the thought of telling anyone or talking about it, and I didn't understand what was happening to me, and it was an incredibly lonely time. And I was lucky. I did speak to my mum in the end, and I did get help, and I remember talking to my GP for about an hour, and he was very understanding, and I got support, and sort of throughout my 20s on and off struggled. I think it's always kind of there with you, but I have definitely ways of managing it now. But so through that, and through this personal experience as well, through teaching and being a parent, I thought, right, I don't want anyone else to feel like I had felt, or any other parent to feel like I had felt, because it is just such a desperate, lonely feeling. And obviously, as we all know, the NHS just do not have the financial means, the support, the funding to help the thousands of families who are struggling with this, with children, you know, as young as 6, 7, 8, as you know. And that's just the most desperate thing. So when you're told that there's like a 6-month waiting list for your child to be seen, and you're absolutely desperate, things are at crisis point, it's just an incredibly dark time for everyone in the family. You know, not just the child, but everyone. So I thought, I want to just help other people not feel alone, to understand young people and the parents, everyone, in fact, that it's okay. Like, I'm not saying it's okay to feel shit, because it's 100% not okay. It feels absolutely terrible at the time. I think some people misconstrue, like, sometimes the slogan, but it's okay as in it's nothing to be ashamed about. You know, you're not alone. There are many, many other people. You know, no one's story is exactly the same, but there are many, many other people going through the same thing, and it's really okay to talk about it. It's really good to talk about it and reach out and get help. So I thought, so going from jumping ahead now, I stopped teaching because I was having children and it was quite difficult juggling it all. And I started this blog called So Happy in Town, and it was always about a very honest, candid portrayal of parenting and just life in general, like lifestyle, like you said. So it was always like, it's the SHIT, the good shit and the bad shit. It was just this very honest portrayal. And I thought, what can I do? What can I do to help people know about YoungMinds, to help them know that they're not alone, to get more people talking about mental health, and you know, in a positive way as well, because we all have mental health. It's something we're all born with. So I thought, okay, I can use this shit. I think I can use it somehow. And I thought, okay, I'm gonna do t-shirts, and that's where okay, I've got my hoodie on. I'm just gonna show it like that. It's it's okay to feel SHIT. So it's the SHIT. It's not meant to be totally rude, because it's kind of so happy in town, you know. But anyway, so I thought
I love that play on words. I absolutely love that, because iSpace is a play on lettering as well, and a play on words. So it breaks down into I, stop, pause, and calm, everything. So when I saw what you were doing, I related straight away, and I thought, really clever, wonderful. Young people are going to love that, and parents and everything can relate too. So really, really great.
Well, I thought that it will get young people talking, because, you know, teens of a certain age, it gets to a bit older, and there's a certain age they think, oh, it's not very cool, but there's an age they think, that's really cool, you can have a rude word in your t-shirt. And the number of conversations it's opened up between parents who are wearing the t-shirt with their kids, because they're saying, hang on, how come you're wearing that? How come we're allowed to have that word in the house? And then the number of people who've said to me, and then we just sat down and we talked about mental health and how it's okay, and we all have it, and it's something that's sometimes good, it's sometimes not so good, and that's okay. And so I thought, Paula, if I could sell, like, honestly, 50 t-shirts at first, I could raise some awareness for Real Minds and some money for them. And then it just kind of snowballed, and we got some, you know, celebrities on board, and it's still, you know, still going. I think it's 2 years now, and nearly £30,000, and a lot of awareness for YoungMinds, because it was a charity that very, very much helped us at a really, really difficult time. And I think it's getting more exposure, but a lot of people still don't know about it. So that's how it happened, and it's still going strong. So that's it in a nutshell. Oh,
no, that's brilliant.
He found out due to Lisa Snowdon did it. She did it quite a while ago. I mean, these people have not hesitated to do it, which is fantastic.
Fantastic, because in our iSpace Wellbeing curriculum, at the end of every lesson, we signpost children to support and help. And YoungMinds is one of our signposts. So we are reaching, we're in over 250 schools now, so reaching around 80,000 children. And every week at the end of their lesson, they will be seeing YoungMinds as a prompt for them to reach out to find information or to seek support and help. So so I absolutely recognise how amazing a charity they are.
Yeah.
And of course you have my full support. I've got my t-shirt too. And when I was ordering my t-shirt, my daughter kind of looked over my shoulder and thought, oh, what's that? And I said, oh, this is about, Young Minds charity that you've been learning about at school. And you can get your t-shirt and it shows that it's okay not to feel okay and to talk about it. And she said, oh, I like the pink one. I'll have that too.
I know,
so,
I love stories.
It was a great conversation starter for us. And we generally tend to put our t-shirt on when we're going to bed. So it's a good time to start having our chats. I've got my black t-shirt. She's got her pink t-shirt, and we sit there and we just let it all out. So really, really great what you're doing with that. And I'm so glad that it's been so successful.
My two teenage daughters, it's at night time they put them on and they're feeling a bit meh, and they just snuggle up in those or their hoodies. And I think a lot of people have said their teens do that. It's sort of a nighttime t-shirt and reassuring.
Yeah, no, really, really good. And for those teens, I think it is just perfect. So brilliant. And you're also an ambassador for My Black Dog as well.
Yes.
And
that's
tell us a little bit about that.
That is a really, really wonderful, fairly new charity. It's all online. It's for adults, so it's 18 plus. I got involved actually because Eddie Temple Morris, the Virgin DJ, he did the campaign. He supported the campaign, and he's heavily involved in mental health. And he asked me if I'd be an ambassador for this really new charity back then. And I was totally honoured. And they're doing My Black Dog. It's My Black Dog co on Instagram, I think. But they are doing amazing things. They've supported so many people through lockdown. And it's all online, obviously, all anonymous. And thousands of people have been reaching out to them. So I'm really, really proud to be involved with that charity. So that's another channel to get support from.
Wonderful. And I'm actually seeing some lovely stories about t-shirts going up, Susie. I don't know whether you've seen them, but someone is very tempted to wear their t-shirt into Waitrose.
Do you know what? My brother, he wore his in Sainsbury's the other day, and he said this lady was sort of, because some people are a bit not sure about that, but she came up and she asked him what it was because it's got the dots in between. He explained it all to her, and then it was the conversation, and she said she was going to order one. And so I get it's Richard, I get looks, parents with younger children, I find, and I understand this might be a bit like, I don't really appreciate you. And then the older generation are maybe a bit the same, but there's kind of, I think, middle-aged parents generally with children who are a little bit older are really, really on board. Yeah,
absolutely. Brilliant. So I guess, Susie, let's have a think about what people might want to hear about tonight in terms of offering some kind of guidance or knowledge from our own experiences. And I'm kind of really thinking about parents tonight, because I know that your blog is very parent focused, and I'm just thinking, what kind of advice can we give to parents? Because I think parents at the moment have been through such a hard time, going through lockdown, everybody getting that cabin fever, then everybody almost coming out of hibernation now and peeping out and seeing, is it okay, is it safe, and can we just get back to what we think was a normality? And as the children are going out there, it's not the same as it was before. No. And so what kind of advice or just support can we offer them in terms of what we know from, I think one of the main things is anxiety that children have been feeling about going back and starting over again, and loss of exams and lots of experiences and moments and memories that they should have been having.
Yeah.
But what kind of things could we offer them this evening?
Well, for a start, it's incredibly hard for these children, for all of us. I mean, it's hard for us to suddenly being out and about, but we're not having to get on busy buses and classrooms suddenly full of other children when they've been told for months and months to stay, in their houses on their own and not be near anyone. So obviously the anxiety. There will be children who've been desperate to get back, which is great, and have embraced it, and they're kind of loving it. But many children and teens will be struggling with this just huge U-turn. I've got one child who was okay, one who really felt very incredibly anxious about it and overwhelmed. She said, really overwhelmed. So I think the main thing is listening to them and checking in on them. And I think I feel that the thing is to let them know that we don't understand because we're not having to do it, but that it's okay to feel all these things. It's completely normal. We're human. Like you'd be superhuman if you did just race back and everything was fine. Just to let them know that, not try and, I always say to people, you don't try and fix it, because they want us to listen and just be there. And sometimes they don't want to talk. And especially if we interrogate them and go, "You okay? Are you okay?" I mean, I think we're all guilty of doing that sometimes as parents, aren't we? Because we want to desperately make everything okay for them and to be happy all the time. It's not real life. Just letting them know that we know it's hard. We're there for them. We're there to listen if they want to talk. Just little chats, like you were saying at bedtime. That's a good time, isn't it? When they do tend to open up. I find, at dinner, I try not to sit opposite them and ask them stuff, but I just hear them talking, and then just like the old chipping in. Or we went for drives often during lockdown, actually, my elder two and me, and it was I did notice, because we weren't facing each other and they're side by side or going for a walk, stuff just does come out, but it has to be in their own time. So I think it's being patient and being really supportive. What would you say?
Yeah, because I totally agree with everything you're saying. But one of the things that I find really helpful in terms of giving some tips to parents is that when your child gets into the car, don't ask them about their day straight away. Because usually when they get into the car after school, they are so tired, they just don't want to be asked another question. Exactly. Sometimes it's really good to start off with just talking about your day.
Yeah.
Guess what happened to me today? Guess what I did? This great thing happened, this not so great thing happened, but this is how I managed it. And suddenly, once they've had time to just decompress in the car, then suddenly they start chipping in and the conversation starts to flow. I also totally agree with what you say about that eye contact, because quite often people can feel quite vulnerable when they're having, a conversation around feelings and having to stare someone in the eye. So I agree. Things that you're doing that are either on the move, you're walking side by side, or you're sitting side by side in the car, or sometimes, like I've got a teenage daughter as well, and we go out for a cycle on our bikes. And we're taking in nature at the same time, but the conversation just starts to flow. And that's a really good time to start talking. So I think they do find it really hard to just be asked a lot of questions, because they feel that that's what happens to them all day long while they're at school. So they just need that time to just settle, decompress after school, and just come about it in a different way. Don't do it directly. Start off a different type of conversation, and then slowly they tend to join in.
And I know, God, it's hard with teenagers, isn't it? Because they 9 times out of 10 do not want to talk. We say all this talk to them, keep the conversation open, which is incredibly important. But so often they do not want to talk, and it is grabbing that time when maybe they might say something, and trying not to. I used to do this. Are you okay? Are you okay? And then they're like, "Oh, it's so annoying," and that's not. They don't. Then they'll just shut down. So it's just, I think, trying to be patient. I know how hard it is, because, like I said before, we just want everything to be okay for them, and we want to know if they're not okay.
Yeah, and that's our protective nature, isn't it? As parents, we want to protect. It's almost like an instinct, and that's why that fix it comes in. And the fix it model of doing things really doesn't work for teenagers. They want to be listened to, and they want to have their feelings validated. They don't want you to necessarily jump in and fix it.
That's key, actually, isn't it? Validating, I know through counselling and therapy, it's the validating them when they say, you know, I'm feeling this, going completely almost repeating back what they've said. I get that you feel that, instead of being like, when I grew up, it was a bit more, come on, you know, because you're so lucky, you're, you know, you've nothing to be feel down about. And that was like the worst thing, to completely dismiss someone's feelings and make them feel 100 times more of the failure that they're already feeling.
Absolutely. Golden rule, not to say in my day when I was younger, don't bring it back. They're like, that's when you lose them completely. But what I've also found as well through experience is that sometimes trying to be the devil's advocate. So if they're talking about somebody else that's causing them to feel a certain way, not trying to be devil's advocate and saying, well, maybe they were feeling something, or maybe they were carrying some baggage, or maybe they were, because that's like, okay, now you're not listening to my feelings, and you're not validating where I am right now. So absolutely, that validation, empathy, and then boundaries as well. So I think those three things: just validate, empathize, and then make sure boundaries are there to keep them safe.
The other thing I say to all three of my children is, and again, teenagers can balk when you suggest something and go, I'm absolutely not doing that because you've just said, like, perhaps, I was saying, like, journaling, write down. I just go, I just write down how I feel. It really helps me, or doodle or draw. And, you know, sometimes if I say it's something I might do, and not, rather than saying, you know what I think you should do, because then I'm like, oh, I'm not doing that. We don't speak like that, actually. It's my Kevin and Perry impression of teenagers. Poor things. But and then I've seen that one of them has done it. You know, they have actually on their, but it has to be on their terms, in their own time. They will go in. You know, as long as you're not saying I think you should do that because that will help you. Just go, sometimes it does help. You just write some things down, and then I saw one of them was doing that, and you think, so they do actually listen. They don't want you to think they're listening.
Yes, but I think journaling is a great thing for young people and for adults as well. Gratitude journals, and then just the journaling itself and doodling. I think for everybody, it's a really good way to unload and to process things that you're feeling. And so to write it down is almost like getting it out, seeing it, feeling it, and putting it on paper. So I do think that is really, really helpful for young people and for adults as well. Yeah, for sure. And I do think that our teenagers do a lot of listening to us, but you kind of almost have to time it. So this is kind of, I'll give myself 10 minutes to be able to give a little bit of guidance, to try and find out a little bit. If I go beyond that, then I become background noise, and I lose it.
If you sort of keep, because I sort of sometimes just keep going over the point that I've made to make sure they have listened, but they don't see it, and then it's like, oh god, you know. You can see them totally switched off, but you're right, just that snippet of time.
Give yourself that snippet and put your best stuff into that 10 minutes. And then you know that you haven't turned into that kind of lecturing, and you know that you haven't lost them through just becoming background noise. Another thing I find really helpful, Susie, I don't know whether you've come across any young people doing this, is for those people who kind of find it hard to talk or to express themselves, but they can feel quite anxious, is to encourage them to set up a soothing box, and to have all the things in their soothing box that really helps them to feel calm and relaxed. And in fact, some young people that I work with put pen and paper into their soothing box so that they write things down as well.
Yeah, I saw that actually when I was looking at, because YoungMinds, I'm sure you explored the site. It's like a rabbit hole. There's just so much in there. And that was when they have these young mental health sort of bloggers who are, it's great because children and teenagers can relate to them. So they're telling their stories of, well, this is what helps me when I feel anxious. And one of them was writing about was this soothing box that they found. Oh, it really helps me. I keep it in my room and I decorated it and I just go to it. And these, because there's all these kind of things on that Young Minds website, just ideas of
really great
to support your children.
Yeah. And if putting things like things that can help bring them to their happy place. So whatever their happy place is, if it was a holiday that you were on together, if it was a picnic that you were on together, whatever it is, if there's a photograph that can help them to go back to that memory as well, to put that in the box for them too. And sometimes it's things that a certain smell that help to make them feel comforted or reminds them of a certain person that makes them feel safe. All of those kind of things can be helpful as well.
Yeah.
And I think just talking a few minutes ago about parents and what we say and what we could say and what we shouldn't say. And it's hard as a parent, isn't it? And we can beat ourselves up all the time.
I think the guilt never goes, does it? From when they're little to their teenagers to their and my parents probably still have it. It just never goes away as a parent, does it?
No, never goes away. And I suppose my kind of experience and my learning is that, you know what, sometimes we don't get it right. And not necessarily that there is a right or a wrong, but in that moment for that person that we were speaking to, maybe that it just didn't work for them. And it doesn't mean that we should be forever feeling, oh my gosh, I did that wrong, or I'm a terrible person, or that I've now caused something that's going to last forever and they're never going to forgive me or forget about what I said, because you just find another way and you learn from that experience. And it's okay. I find it's okay to say to your young person or your teenager or whatever, is, I think I got that wrong. And how could I have done it better? Because I'm trying, and sometimes I make mistakes. And, can you help me to understand what I could have done to have said it better, to have done it better, because I want to be helpful, not unhelpful.
Yeah, I think that's really important. I've just done that before I came on here. Actually, I went up to my daughter and said, I'm sorry, I just lost it a bit down there and I just felt frustrated and I shouldn't have, raised my voice. And she was like, it's okay, but and she explained how she felt, because because we're only human as well. And as much as we're giving all this, oh yeah, it's good if you do this and that, we all know what it's like in the heat of the moment, and you've just cooked dinner and you're exhausted yourself and you've been working, and I found that a lot in the last few years is it makes me feel better as well, to be honest. If I explain this, I'm sorry, or I admit when you didn't, maybe when you think maybe you didn't get it right, or like you said, Paula, how could I have done that better, or how could we have done that better? And that's really, really helped, actually. It's just showing them that parents are human. Like, I've had really honest conversations with them about social media and things, just saying, look, we don't know what we're doing. We've never done this before. I've never parented before. I've never parented teenagers with social media, and we're just really navigating it ourselves. So, this is what we are going to put in place, or this is what we didn't do, or something. But just I found that's really helped me with the relationship with the girls, is just to be honest about it. And you are still the parent, not saying be their best friend, but just to say, we're just muddling on too. We're trying to do what we think is best for you, instead of I think we sometimes are made to think we should be this all conquering, all ruling, all getting it right all the time, amazing parent who's just got it all sorted. But none of us have done this before. If it's your eldest child, first child, or whatever.
Exactly.
And I
And
think
each
that's really
child is
helped.
different. Each child is different as well. So you may have thought you've mastered it with the first, and then the second comes along, and what you mastered isn't working for the second or the third.
Yes,
And so you have to try and find another way to support that particular individual. And of course, their experiences are completely different, and that's why every individual is different, because their experiences are different too. And it's trying to help them through those experiences, because there could be new experiences that you as a parent haven't come across before as well. And certainly social media is one of those rabbit holes that you just don't know where you're going.
No.
Certainly with my teenage daughter and the teenagers that I work with in schools, they are helping me, they are guiding me, they are telling me the new thing that's come out and what it's all about and how it works and all the things you should be careful of. And so in some ways, they like to be able to teach us and feel that they are in a way mentoring us around social media. And I find that is probably the best way that I actually find out about what is going on in social media is through other people teaching me, and through gaming as well, because I'm not a gamer, and the children just have to tell me what happens in the virtual world of gaming that they play in. And it's fascinating. And when they're telling me and teaching me, you can see that they're enjoying the process of being able to go through that with me. So doing that can be really, really great. And then the other thing I do with my family, sometimes when I'm feeling stressed and I'm feeling, that perhaps I'm not managing, is I use analogies and I say, you know what, I've got a really full bucket and I feel it's spilling over, and I know I should put a hole in it somewhere by just going for a walk and doing whatever I need to do that makes me feel good. So, I need half an hour, give me half an hour so that I can, let the pressure out of this bucket in a calm way rather than it just overflowing uncontrollably. And then they get it. They're like, okay, mom's bucket is full. Let's give her some space. And that really works really, really well.
Yeah, that's a good one, because that's the other thing I have as well been doing, which I wasn't doing. I think lockdown taught me this more, is just to say, when I need some time for me, and they get it. Before I used to think I couldn't possibly do that. I felt guilty, and I must always be with them and doing. It's like I need, my time. I need to just go up to my room, or I need to go for, like you were saying, go for a walk. Or I like the bucket analogy. That's a good one. Just just need you need your time, I need my time, and then you do come back like a different person again, don't you? When you just had that sort of recharge,
absolutely. And then what I find is when the young people that I work with and talk to about these kind of things, they then start using the analogy themselves when they need to explain that they need a break. Because they see that actually that resonated with me and that worked, and I get it and I can explain it when I use that without going too deep into how I'm feeling. I'm just letting you know that my bucket is full. And if I don't, somebody doesn't help me to empty it in a controllable manner, it is going to spill over, or it's already started to spill over and I need some help in emptying it out. And we can all relate to those kind of things. So brilliant. This is really, really helpful. And I don't know whether anybody else in the who's watching this evening has a question that they would like to ask that we could support or help with. So do pop one up if you want to do that. And I suppose just for kind of wrapping up this evening, Susie, is there anything that you would like to ask people to do, or to point them towards your website to look at your fabulous hoodies and t-shirts, because I think that's really important that we do that.
Well, if you click on the link in my bio on here, or if you go to www.sohappyintown.com, then the little shop pops up, and we have pink, black, white, and we now are getting navy blue t-shirts through popular demand. So it's kind of
fantastic.
And there's t-shirts with a little logo as well, because some people don't want the big shit on their fronts, which I completely understand. And 100% from all the money made goes to YoungMinds, so they get everything, which is anyone who buys one is really helping to make a difference, because obviously they need more support than ever as they support the increasing number of young people who are reaching out to them. So yeah, that's and then we can all
That is brilliant. That is brilliant, because brilliant, because we know that so many children are facing new challenges. They've just come out of the greatest adversity that they've ever experienced, perhaps for many in their lives, and they experienced it at the same time as everybody else around, and that is normally their stability and their anchor was experiencing it as well.
That's a very good point. Like you say, their sort of support networks were going through a really, really hard time exactly the same time.
Exactly. So and school was normally their place that they have their routine. That didn't happen, so their routine was gone. So they lost a lot of stability, and they're trying to rebuild their lives again now. So important that we are there for them, as you said. So thousands and thousands of children are experiencing challenges with their mental health at the moment. And being able to give them some steering towards how they can look after themselves in a really positive way is so important right now. So so with what you're doing, with what YoungMinds are doing, through what iSpace Wellbeing is doing, through education in schools, please do look at all the wonderful things that we are doing together to help our young people to live life well.
Exactly.
So thank you.
Thank you, Paula. It was so lovely to chat to you, and keep doing the amazing work that you're doing, helping so many young people in schools. It's just phenomenal and much needed. So it's just a brilliant program that you've done.
Oh, thank you so much. Thanks so much. Well, if we can help anybody out there in any way we can, please do get your school to get in touch with us. Parents can also get in touch with us as well for access to resources. And we've got a lovely free resilience training animation program on our website that people can look at. It is full of various different tools to help you to become resourceful and bounce back in the face of all the adversity that we've just been challenged with. So if you need some support with that, do pop over, sign up, and you can have access to that free resource as well. So thank you so much, Susie. Well done.
Thank you everyone who joined us. It's
absolutely
lovely.
Thank you to everybody who listened in, and hopefully I will be over on Susie's Instagram very soon as well. We'll be talking over there next month. So
I
do
will
watch
be quizzing you.
You
didn't quiz me, by the way. It was just a lovely chat. But I was wanting to know all about iSpace Wellbeing.
Yeah. Well, I knew that a conversation with you was going to be so lovely and relaxed, Susie, that if I had time, I would have made my cup of tea as well, because I feel this has just been a lovely sit down, share our experience with each other, and with the people listening as well. So wonderful. Thank you so much.
Also, obviously, my DMs are always open, and I can direct anyone, if there any support. And obviously, Paula, is there for anyone who may want to chat more about anything we've talked about.
Perfect. Brilliant. Thank you, everybody. Have a lovely evening. And see you all soon. Take care. Bye-bye. Bye. Lots of love. Bye.